Sak Pase.
What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Team Sak Pase show. My name is Glad.
And my name is Rob. We are your favorite Team Sak Pase podcast show where we interview great entrepreneurs from all sectors of industry. And remember, subscribe, share, comment below. Subscribe, share, comment below.
No doubt. Now, guys, if you want to buy a house this year, if you want to buy a house in 2022, we've got a loan officer, one of the top loan officers in the area. He's going to give us a lot of information. Shout out to Rodney. Rodney, what's good, my brother?
I mean, I appreciate the introduction, you know. It was definitely something different I wasn't expecting. But no, my name is Rodney Lewis. I work for United Mortgage. I've been a loan officer now altogether about 6 years. And I've been doing it full-time about 4 years almost.
That's
so,
what's up.
Yeah, it's something I love doing. I'm very passionate about helping people. And I just want to help more minorities and people in our community to black home ownership.
Okay.
And, you know, make a difference. Make a difference.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So talk about what is a loan officer?
That's a good question. Actually, a loan officer is a person that package your loan application. They look at all of your documents and we determine, you know, how much the bank can lend you. Mm-hmm. After we package it, we send it to the underwriter. Then the underwriter looks at your file. The good thing about having a loan officer is we know all the guidelines. So we know different things that will make you qualify for certain programs. I had plenty of people that come to me and say, hey, I want to buy a house for $1 million. And I'm like, hey, how much you make? And what they make doesn't make them qualify for that much. So that's why it's good to talk to a loan officer first before you start throwing out numbers out there so they can kind of qualify you. That's our job.
Now, before we dig deep into the responsibilities of a loan officer, where did you get this passion or this light to want to get into this industry?
Oh, well, I mean, I was in college. I had hoop dreams, but they fell short because I'm only what, 5'10". So,
what college you went to?
I went to Nassau and I went to SUNY Westbury.
Okay,
I graduated from SUNY Westbury.
Would you major in?
Basketball and girls my first 2 years. That didn't work out.
I was in that same course.
Yeah, I said that didn't work out for me, man.
I like that.
So after that, I majored in marketing and actually journalism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, journalism and marketing. And then after that, I was working retail actually. I was working for Lord & Taylor. And then I left there and I went to Bloomingdale's. And while I was working at Bloomingdale's, I was really good. I can know how to talk to people, you know, finesse your way around things.
Right.
And I worked in women's shoes.
Oh,
yeah, learning more about women.
I see where the courses from Old West.
You know. I was working there at women's shoes, and I was doing really good. But they had a girl. The lady, shout out her name is Tony. She works. I think she still works there. She's the personal shopper. And when I left Bloomingdale's, she introduced me to her fiance. He's actually he's a mortgage guy, and he brought me into the business. I worked for him for a year, and I just like shadowed him. Was under him. I left there and I worked for another broker. I worked for somebody else, then worked for somebody else. Then finally 3 years ago, I landed where I'm at now, and I just start going from there. But it all started with customer service. It's the same thing. It's sales is sales. So it's really no different. You know, and then you don't even have to go to college to do this. You don't need a 4-year degree. I could have went from high school and did this, but everything works out a certain way.
And everything is commission based?
I'm fully commission based. I have no salary.
Wow.
So you gotta really hustle. I
actually have three assistants, and 2 or 3 of them are on salary, but I'm not on salary. Yeah. Okay. So, you know, it's competitive.
So talk to us about the environment right now, the buying environment right now.
If you're a buyer right now in this market, you got to get a good realtor. That's number one, because you can get pre-approved for whatever, but when it comes to putting an offer on a house, if your realtor does not know how to sell and they can't get your offer accepted, you'd be on the market for like a year. There's a lot of discouraged buyers out here. Because what happens is the demand for homes that are being sold is very low. So there's more buyers out there. So the sellers have control. So you get 50, 60 offers on a house, possible. And the seller want to sell it to the highest person. And let's say the house doesn't appraise for, you know, what the offer you put in. The seller wants you to pay the difference. So that could cost you in this market. So you got to really have a good realtor and a good attorney and obviously a good loan officer before you get the right fit.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's interesting you say that, because so now let's walk through the process of, okay, I want to buy a home and I'm working regular 9 to 5, and there's certain things. Phone is ringing and it's distracting me. Yeah. So you are basically like a coach. You're coaching the buyer.
Yes. So
through the process of buying a home.
All right. So the first thing you're going to do, what everybody do, they're going to go on Zillow, right? They're going to see a house. Say, oh, I want this house. This happens all the time.
All right.
Then they call a realtor. Realtor said, are you pre-approved? No, what's that? And then somehow you find the loan officer, you find me, and I take you to the whole process. Have you been working for 2 years? Let me see your bank statements. Let me see your W-2s. Get through all that.
The bank statements.
Yes.
How many months?
2 months.
2 months.
Yes.
Bank statements.
You can't have money under
your
your
mattress. I feel like it's more than 2 months.
So
you can't have money under your mattress.
Okay.
Thrown into their account. You don't want to do that.
Okay.
Because that money's no good. That's the first thing I tell everybody.
Okay.
Don't put cash into the account.
And you've come across a lot of these situations.
Oh yeah.
I'm assuming.
But why? Like if I have 10 grand, okay, somebody says, hey, here's 10 grand.
So if they're giving you 10 grand, the bank, the government wants you to show a paper trail.
Paper trail. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So if they have it in their account and they write you a cashier's check or cut you a check,
okay,
and they can show it in their account and they pass it over to you, then yeah, that's sourced.
Okay, cool.
But cash, no.
As long as it's sourced.
Yes, it's got to be properly sourced.
All right. So next step.
Yeah.
Then after that, after you get pre-approved, say you find your relative, put an offer in on the house, you go off to get accepted. Then in New York State, you have to go and have an attorney. So a lot of people don't have attorneys, or they don't have a real estate attorney. So we provide you with one, right? I would, or the realtor would give you one.
Okay.
You sit down with the attorney. He goes over the contract. You sign the contract. You give your down payment money. Now, after you give your down payment money, you're still not in contract technically. You're not in contract until the seller signs. When the seller signs, now you're in contract. They got the money. It's a binding contract because money is involved in the transaction. Then after that, I get that contract. It's emailed to me. When I get the contract, that's when you can see me work. Because from there, I price out your loan. I give you an idea what the monthly payment is. I send you disclosures. Disclosures is basically 45 or 42 pages you got to sign. And it tells you all about the loan you got. It tells you about how much your closing cost is, your appraisal fee. It gives you A to Z.
Okay.
A lot of people don't read everything. But one thing you should read is you want to read the loan estimate. You want to see what your rate is. You want to see how much closing cost is. And you want to see if you got what kind of loan you got, FHA, VA, or conventional. Those are 3 major loans most people get.
Okay. Right. First, FHA, for those who don't know.
It's Federal Housing Authority. That's the name of it. Most people call it the first time home buyer's loan.
Right.
Okay. That's what everybody
and can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah,
loan?
It's 3.5% down. That's the minimum payment. You can do that for all the way to 1 to 4 family. Conventional is a little bit more complex. That's a loan. You got 3%. You have 5% for 1 family. A 2 family, it has to be 15% down. 2
family, yeah. Be 15.
So it's a little bit more complex with conventional. You can't carry as much debt in conventional as you can in FHA. So they both have their benefits. You have to see what you qualify for.
And FHA, they want more documentation, right?
Slightly, yes, slightly. Like some loans, conventional, you can do it for 1 year tax return if you're self-employed. Okay. FHA is 2 years all the time. Some conventional loans you can show 1 month of bank statement, not 2. So conventional is a little bit more flexible.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and you gotta have the better credit score for conventional to qualify.
Right. Yeah,
for it to make sense.
Okay.
So so after your disclosures, we ordered an appraisal. After they do the appraisal, you still gotta wait like 2 weeks for the appraisal to come back. While that's going on, simultaneously, the bank submits your files to underwriting. Underwriter looks at your file. Could take a week, could take 2 weeks, depending on what bank you're at. Once they approve your loan, they give you a loan commitment, and then they give you a bunch of conditions. Loan commitment means the bank is committed to funding you whatever the house costs.
Okay.
After you get your loan commitment, you clear up your conditions. By that time, if your attorney's good, they should have ordered your title report. The title report tells the bank and everyone else who own the house. If there's any liens on the house, any violations, any missing permits, you're gonna find out from the title report.
Okay.
So the title report comes, your appraisal report comes back. Your loan officer gets you all your conditions. All 3 of those are clear. Then you submit the file for clear to close. When you submit for clear to close, that does not mean you're closing tomorrow. That means the underwriter is going to look at it for a final review. And then that's when it gets tricky because sometimes they want to go into more documentation. They ask you more questions. And, that's when your file get picked apart.
Now, that's a lot what you just said right there, right? Now, for someone who's buying a home for the first time, how do you try to make it a smooth transition for them?
I just give them a little task by little task. So I say, hey, do step A. They complete that. I'm like, great. I got something else for you to do.
Okay.
I can't give them A through Z. It'll make you go crazy. Right. And if I'm guiding you and I know what's going to happen next and you feel I'll tell you something, you listen, you get the result. It's like a kid. Now you're doing a good job. Right. But if I tell you something, you do it and we don't get the same result, I look bad. So I got to kind of be in control and guide them through the whole process.
Now I'm cracking up here because, when I was looking out for a home with me and my fiance, our realtor put us in contact with you. And the way you're describing it is not how it went. It went at all.
Oh no,
it was a very excruciating process. Because when we thought we were done, it was always, like you said, there's always something else. There's another piece of homework that we had to do.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get pushback because they're very particular in certain details. So, for example, if money is supposed to be wired, but I say, no, don't wire it. Get a cashier's check and you wire it, then that's a whole different process.
But why would someone, if you're my officer and you tell me to not wire money, but I go ahead and wire it anyway?
That's simple because people don't listen. They just do what they want to do. If they would say, okay, I'm going to do the cashier check, right, we've been fine. But they said, no, I'm going to wire it and this should be good enough. I said, okay. I'm going to go tell the underwriter this. So then the underwriter asks for more documentation. Because with a wire, now you have to go back and show where the money came from. But if I can remember correctly, the reason for them to wire it is because they were in the same bank. So it's like 2 Chase accounts together.
Okay.
Right? So that's why they wire.
So that kind of makes sense. Okay. I see where
it does in your world, but when it comes to underwriting, you want to see everything.
Okay. So you have a great relationship with the underwriter.
Yeah, I try to, You
try to?
Yeah, I try to.
Are they just one or you have it's many?
It's like 4 of them, different ones we deal with.
Because that's like the biggest, that one word is it's like PTSD for me. And it's tough. It's like one of the worst positions. How do you want to become an underwriter in your life? So they are the ones that literally make the bottom line decision.
Absolutely. I mean, I've seen files, I know my guidelines. And that underwriter doesn't like it, I go to his manager. Like, listen, these are the guidelines. I don't care what he feels about the file. These are the guidelines. And a lot of times I fight a lot for a lot of my clients. You have to. Because sometimes the underwriter can be a jerk. It's all, if he wake up on the right side of bed, then we're good. If he or she wakes on the wrong side of bed, you're going to have a long week.
Wow.
I've seen files get cleared in a day, and I see some files get cleared in 2 weeks.
And they have the same credentials.
So it's all about, other than the numbers, it's really all about the relationship.
Yeah. And you don't want to be a jerk. So, for instance, people have to understand underwriters is not only working on your file. I think that's the misconception.
True.
So if you're missing something and I tell you at 9 in the morning, you give it to me at 5 o'clock at night, you can't say, okay, why are we not clear to close? Don't work that way. So when your file is not complete, they'll give it back to you and say, fix this. Then they have another circle of files circulating, probably 80 files.
Wow.
So they can't just go and say, no.
Right.
They're not going to do that unless you have a good relationship with them. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be respectful. I say, listen, I know you're busy. You got a long week. How's your kids? Okay, great. What I need you to do when you get a chance, just take a look at it. I think it's clear. You have to be that way. So
you send them gifts at the end of the year?
No, you can't. No, I cannot do that.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Nah, but you're nice though. You got to treat them like human beings.
Right.
At the end, they have a tough job.
They stressful.
And if something's wrong with that file they get ordered, it comes back on them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it comes back on me, but the underwriter signs off on it. So it's their license on the line. So I understand.
Okay.
So you work for a private company, right? Can you tell us the difference between a private company and a commercial lending company?
Yes. Well, commercial lending, like you go to Wells Fargo, Chase, something like that. one, they have a lot of clients because everybody they probably bank with them. So them giving you a crazy deal, depends on what loan product you get. They're not gonna give you the best deal because at the end of the day, you're just another number. When you go to like a private lender or a mortgage broker, we want referral business and we want you to come back and we want you to send us to other people. So we're a little bit more competitive, especially with the rate, even with the different loans we can do. We're a little bit more heavy in on the debt because a lot of people have debt. So, we'll go to like a 55, 56 back end. That means like you're over half of your income, monthly income is being leveraged. We're okay with that. We'll take that risk. But a lot of big banks don't do that. And then they have what you call registered bankers or mortgage bankers. So basically they're insured by the FDIC. So, but them, they put it through a system, it kicks it back out. They say, no, it's not with us. We get to go back and combat with the underwriters because we're licensed in each state. So I'm licensed in 11 states. So that's why it's like, listen, I know the guidelines. This is what I want. This is how we can package a loan and sell it.
Wow. So out of the 11 states that you're registered in, where do you get most of the sales or your commissions?
I do a lot in New York. Obviously, we live here, and then Jersey. I got a lot of Maryland deals, Florida. Yeah, those three basically, and every other one is like once every 2 or 3 months.
So you're licensed in 11 states as a loan officer, and you can partner up with another loan officer in that particular state, and you both get that commission. Or
no. We partner up with realtors. So if a realtor is, let's say, licensed in Virginia, hey, Rodney, I got a client. Okay, no problem. So I do the pre-approval process. Everything's by email. So email it to them. They go find a house. Offer get accepted, and I'm doing the same process I do here. Only thing in different states that's different. Sometimes they don't need an attorney. Like Jersey don't need an attorney, but most people have it. But Maryland, they don't need an attorney. The realtor does everything
because the title is
exactly. So they don't do that. So that's why it's a little bit more strict though. They want to close a lot of out of state deals. Want to close in 30 days. They don't play that. Like New York, you get 30, then get an extra 30 for grace period.
There's always something, man.
Yeah, I've seen a deal in New York last for 9 months.
9 months. Wow.
Yeah, so everything takes a while, but out of state, they're really strict. And they'll take your down payment money. You don't play that.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's talk to us about these commission checks. How are they looking?
COVID hit. Some people it went up. A lot of people in the real estate, mortgage broker, real estate, they did well. But
how'd you do?
I did okay. I did okay. I was one of the top in my office.
Give us a number. Oh, okay. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
a random average. No, because I'm just only
the average loan officer. I will tell you this: the average loan officer.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what that's where I was going. Okay.
Makes about 100 to 120,000 a year.
Okay.
The average. Then you have the elites. Some of them make 7 to 8 figures.
Nice.
A year. So it all depends where you fall in at. Okay. You can do one deal a year, one deal a month, and you can make almost 100K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this really quick. Loan officer, established businessman from Queens, right? So the perception in our culture is Black man in suit, loan officer, that trust, because we have a lot of trust issues in our culture. Do you get a lot of that resistance from our own people, or?
Yes and no. The reason I say that is, one, I don't wear suits to my closings. I don't wear it because it's like,
nice.
I don't wear them because I like wearing suits, but I just don't wear it to my closings.
Okay.
A lot of loan officers, one, don't go to the closings. That's another thing. Like, they won't show up. They like, I close a deal, I'm getting paid what I care for. But I want people to realize who they were talking to on the phone, who was really taking care of them. Also, in our community, you gotta kind of ease in with our people when it comes to asking somebody how much they make and give me your social security number. You can't do that.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
So you have to resonate them like, I'll say, hey, before I even get all that information, I ask them a simple question. One, where are you from? Because your demographic, based on how I'm gonna talk to you, And I'm just got to be real.
I'm from Brooklyn, son. You know what I'm saying?
What's
good?
I
want this crib real quick.
Yeah, that's great, my man. So that's what we're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you say, you know, you from, let's say, North Hills, or you from New Hyde Park, my name is Rodney Lewis. I'm a loan officer. I will be helping you. I put the voice on.
Okay.
So, you know, you gotta, if you can relate to different lifestyles of people, that's a plus. But as far as our community, I always say, listen, how much are you willing to pay for mortgage? That's how I started my conversation.
That's a great question.
And they said, why do you say that? I said, listen,
great question.
If you paying $2,000 for rent and you think you're gonna buy a house and you're gonna pay $2,200, that's not gonna make sense. And I break it down to them, because mortgage is always gonna cost more than rent, but in 5 years it catches itself. So if they're willing to pay more for the next 5 years, then okay, we can have a conversation. Then the next thing we say is, how much do you gross, you know, on your W-2s? So somebody will say, hey, listen, I gross, you know, 70,000. Okay, great. Are you the only person going to be on loan? Yeah, I'm going by myself. All right. The next question I ask is, do you have any student loans? A lot of people got student loans. So when FHA, right now they changed it. It used to be 1%, but now it's 0.5%. So what that means is, let's say you have 100,000 in student loans and it's deferred, you know, loan forgiveness. If everybody says, FHA guidelines, you have to hit them for 0.5%. So out of for $100,000 loan, we're going to hit you with $500 a month off the rip. That's the rip. Yeah, that's off the rip. That's going to happen to you. The next big debt we have is your car note. You know, people got big body Benz and BMWs. So, you know, it's another $500-$600 on the low side. So let's say it's $1,000 for your car note. So now you're at $1,500 worth of debt before we did anything.
Wow.
Then we got to ask you, do you have credit card debt? Let's say you have 2 or 3 cards. But the good thing about credit cards, we go by the minimum payment. So let's say all your cards add up to another $100. So now you at $1,500 plus another $100, you're at $1,600. So we have to minus $1,600 from your monthly gross. And then after that, we find out what you approved for. So that's why it's a whole process. So I'm not having my conversation, somebody saying, you know, they make $100K, that's $8,333, but they got $1,600 worth of debt. I'm doing the math already in my head. Then when I get to that number, let's say that number is 4,000, right? Now I'm dividing that by 2. The reason why you divide it by 2, that's how much your mortgage can be, give or take. So now your mortgage payment can be between $800 and $2,000. So that's how you get the number in your head. Now, that's if I do that, mortgage. I'm explaining to you what's going on. Right. Now I know right off the bat, you might need a cosigner because the mortgage you want might be $4,200. So I'm going to explain all that to you on a phone and conversation. And if you can qualify, I'll be like, all right, I'm going to send you an email. Then I send an email down. We're a little bit more comfortable, but I'm bringing it down to you. But if I say, hey, listen, I need X, Y, and Z, then I'll get back to you. It's like, yo, I don't know you from nowhere. But if they know you really care and you break it down to them and the way they can understand in layman's terms, it's a little bit of trust there. And sometimes it's the first 5 seconds. Like I've been on the phone with somebody, I say, hey, how you doing? You looking to buy a house? What's your business card? I said, okay, I'll send it to you. And then they're like, so why am I going to use you? You get guys like that. You got to ease it out. Like, listen, I don't need you to use me. I just trying to see if I can help you. And you try to make it where you helping them because they don't understand. Like, it's a very competitive market. I've seen loan officers lose deals like that because the next bank to them lied and say, listen, I'll give you this rate. And the person runs and leaves and don't get that rate.
Oh, wow. Because
when the market moves, you understand this, like you can get pre-approved in February, close in April, and you have a whole different rate because the market is constantly moving. It doesn't stop for you and me. Right. It moves how they want it to move. Okay. So that's something like I tell people all the time, like trust your loan officer. If you call him and he's answering you back, that's a good person. But if he give you a pre-approval and you don't hear from him until you got a contract or you're off accepted, you have a long day. Yeah. And that happens a lot.
Okay. What's the average it takes to close on a house or for you to close a deal?
A clean deal? I've closed in 17 days. I'll never forget that one. That was the past I've closed. Wow. Right now.
In New York?
Yeah, in New York. In New York, yeah. Right now, you probably can close in 30 to 35 days. That's quick. Some people take 45. Some people take 60 to 90 days. It all depends. And it depends on the file too, because it's people lying. You know, I seen some people. I got a 700 credit score. Come back 580. What happened? Well, Credit Karma ain't that bad, man. You gotta be real with yourself. And then
what's the magic number with the credit score?
That's going. FHA, I would say anything above 580 you can do. It's going to be obviously affect your price and your interest rate. Conventional, I want you to say 640 and above they can do, but you want to be like a 660,
Okay.
If you're FHA, you under 660, that's okay. You can still do a loan.
Okay.
But once you get like that 580 mark, they're going to hit you in the head. You're going to see some extra fees on there that you don't want to see.
So here's a common question. Some people say, okay, well, I have the money, but I don't have the credit score. But my spouse or somebody else or whatever, they have the score, but they don't have the money. Can they kind of work together and say, okay, you know what?
Well, I mean, I ran into people. I had one guy, he had a 580 credit score. I seen it. Obviously, his wife had a better credit score. They had like $100,000 in the bank. So I'm like, okay, you shouldn't have this credit score. What do you mean? I said, all right, let me run into the simulator. So I run into the simulator. In a week, I got him to 680. Some people have bad credit because they don't want to pay their balance down. A lot of people have bad credit because the credit card balance. So let's say you have a credit card for $500, right? That's your limit. They owe $600 because they pay the minimum payment and just let it keep the fees run up. That doesn't make sense. So it's just like, especially minorities in America, credit is a little bit more powerful than cash.
Absolutely.
Sure. I've noticed when you get certain credit cards, like if you get the MX Platinum, the rewards and the benefits you get and the perks you get is unbelievable.
It's crazy.
So now, somebody could be making, let's say, $50,000 a year, but they got a platinum card, and they put that on there. Now the person gonna treat them different because they think they're prestige. It's credit. So the bank they'll take somebody, two people that make $50,000 a year, with a 700 credit score, and deny somebody who make $150,000 a year with a 500 credit score. So you gotta understand credit is definitely leverage everything.
Yeah, it's a risk factor too.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you don't want to be that person like, can I get approved? Can you help me? Because when you're in desperation, that's when it gets around
hits you.
Yeah. You want to be like, I know my credit is good. Yes, that's my credit, but what can you do? You want to have those conversations, but if you under a certain number, it's over. They're not doing you no favor. They're gonna give you what they want to give you.
Okay.
So that's very important.
So good credit, manage your debt. What's another piece of advice for a person buying a home for the first time?
Don't get crazy in your first house, please. These people. Lady last week told me she wanted heated floors. I said,
wow, heated floors.
Yeah, she wanted heated floors.
Wow,
a heated driveway, and she wanted ensuite with marble. I said, oh man. I was shocked. I said, what kind of work you do? Well, I'm not working right now. I said, okay.
Oh God, that's crazy. See, that's where you get in trouble.
Yeah. What's
the smart thing to do? Because you gave us a piece of advice, saying like, I think after a few years you could pull the equity out.
Yeah.
And
so I'll give somebody a good analogy where they can understand. So let's say you buy a house, right? It's your starter home. You pay, let's say $400,000 for the house, right? Mm-hmm. You're paying that mortgage, let's say 5 to 7 years, right? Mm-hmm. So now you're taking that same house, you're paying it down, right? So let's say in 5 years, your new mortgage is, let's say $350. That's only $50K. Mm-hmm. 5 years sounds bad, right? Mm-hmm. But there's another side to the house that you don't know about. It's called equity and appreciation. Mm-hmm. So as you hold that house, that same house that you bought 7 years ago for $100,000 might be worth about $550,000, $600,000. So let's say $550,000 on the low end, right? Mm-hmm. So now, if you were to sell that house today, you walk away $200,000. A lot of people don't see $200,000 in their lifetime. By you holding the house, you're making money. I have seen people. One client, they bought a house for me in 2017 for $650,000. In 2020, they sold that same house for like $900,000. Wow. The most money you ever made on transaction. So that's very, very important. Y'all got some water?
Yeah.
We'll get that for you.
To talk, you was going to say something?
Go ahead.
So you're talking about the equity, right?
Yeah.
In New York, we all know the market is crazy, especially like the brownstone. So, situation where people are like, look, I'm going to sit on this equity, $500K, but they got $1 million home. So that $500K, that can actually be not tampered, but it all depends on the market. Because at one point, the market doesn't mean just because you got that $500K and you're just sitting on it, not doing anything. At one point, if the market crash, that $500K is gone.
what people are scared of is taking what they have and making more income out of it.
Yeah.
So a person like that would tell them, listen, you got that? You don't want to sell a house? I get it. Take 100,000, 200,000, go buy another house. Make that investment property. So now you have a whole nother, let's say $2,000, $3,000 coming to you residually, you know, for as long as you want.
Right.
A lot of people don't think like in our community, oh, I bought a house. Yeah, that's cool.
And that's it.
But that can't be the only goal.
Right.
You know why? Because there's other people who need houses. There's other people who need a place to stay.
Right.
Some people don't like to be landlords, but if you're a business person, you're going to take risks. There's different programs where the city they pay for rent for the whole year, and they give you money if the people mess up your house. So they have different programs out there. You just need to find a right situation. But I will tell you this: if you do take on regular tenants, you gotta act like a bank or a loan officer. You need to see their credit score. You need to see savings accounts. You need to know if they got 6 months of reserve, just in case a pandemic happened. And because of the pandemic, I tell all my buyers who got multifamily, please get essential workers if you can. Get somebody who's an essential worker. That's it.
Because their job is secure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That means your mortgage secure.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people, it's just, you gotta understand that.
It's cool that you said that because a lot of people don't go into their first home as looking at it as a business.
Yeah.
They're looking at it as, okay, I'm here for 30 years.
Yeah.
That's not
But that's the mindset.
That can't be the
that's
goal.
The mindset of the
goal.
average individual is like, yo, I don't want to be a landlord. I just want to own a home, chill. I got my home. I'm good. I don't want to deal with people. But then they got 200, 300 in equity sitting, chilling.
Yeah, they may die in that home and nobody gets it. And then the kids get it and say, all right, and they blow the money. But if you teach them how to, leverage their credit, open up more homes, more doors, it's going to be like kind of a family legacy. Like, I know how to do this. And then also you got to understand it's like you grow. You have to grow. I ask one thing. You don't want to be stagnant. I know a lot of people say, hey, I made it. And, they get a nice house. They get, 2 or 3 cars and that's it. We in this world, you see how much these people are worth? Jeff Bezos.
Facts.
So if you comfortable saying, listen, I make 6 figures, my wife makes 6 figures, we're good, cool. But there's somebody who's worth $100 billion. He can't even spend that money.
Yeah.
Why are you saying, you know what? Let me try to get a meal if I could. That's the mentality I try to have with people. And I try to, if you're not going to do that, then okay, open up another business, something. It's different ways to get income, but you got to kind of go forward. That's what I tell people all the time. You kind of got to go forward.
Right.
You don't want to be stagnant.
That's cool. It's okay. Which one? We got the.
Oh, I'll take the one.
Good. I'm good. Thank you.
So that's crazy. Wow, man.
You gotta go forward. Cause when you see what people are making at the top, I mean, 90% of the wealth is owned by 10% of the people.
Right.
Like when you wrap your mind around that, it's tough. Like we're really scraping at the bottom trying to get, the next dollar when there's enough excess out there. But you gotta kind of go to the next level. You gotta want to be in progress. Just the cost of living always goes up. Money depreciates. So it's like 100,000 what it was 2 years ago is not what it is today.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you gotta say, I constantly kind of want to move in a forward direction.
Yeah, because I notice a lot of people are they get comfortable.
Yeah.
And there's a fear situation. I'm comfortable where I'm at with my job, my 9 to 5, and that's all I want to do. I don't want to deal with people. I know literally people like that.
It's funny. It's funny you said that. I actually, I didn't go to all my classes in college, but I did go to this one. It was politics economics. They basically talking about workers, and they were saying a CEO to a worker makes 300 times more. They said the likelihood of a entry level position to get to a CEO is less than 1%. And right then I knew, I said, all right, I got to figure out something because this doesn't seem like it.
Right.
They said the CEO gives it to his children or a good GM that he's going to hand the company over to them. And when I understood that, I realized like, listen, Black wealth, minority wealth is very important because we didn't think we could be billionaires, a lot of us, until we seen like a Jay-Z or Kanye or Michael Jordan get there. That wasn't even on the radar.
Right.
So it's like you kind of want to go forward as much as you can so people behind you can achieve more and you can give back to your community. That's what it's about.
Right.
You know, you don't want to stop there. Like I said, for me personally, I'll say this. A lot of people say, "Oh, I want to close, 2 deals a month." You have a good living. Me, my goal is to close 20 deals a month, and I'm not stopping until I do it. So
You gotta hustle.
Where you at now with that goal, average?
Right now, the last year I averaged 8 deals a month. This year I'm
Nice.
trying to do 10 to 12. So I'm on pace for 12 this month.
That's what's up.
So yeah, so
Nice.
I'm trying to just keep going. And I have people that work with me, and I want them to get to a certain level. So it's not just about me, but it's like a team. Like it's team effort. Like I want to be able to give back and help other LOs not go through what I went through. So it took me like 3 years to get me on my feet. So I got LOs now. They did 3 deals in the first 6 months.
Nice.
So they outdoing what I did. So I'm trying to make it easier.
Okay.
Now, other than you're blessing a lot of people and helping a lot of people get their homes. I see you crazy on Instagram. I see a lot of testimonials. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of people wanted me to go on Instagram, but I wasn't trying. I have my own life. Like I don't want to be the loan officer, that you ask a whole bunch of questions to, and he knows all the loan programs. That's not me. But I will tell people about customer service because I really care. And clients say, "Listen, I want to do a video for you." I'm like, "No." They was like, "No, you need to tell people how much you helped me." So this year I'm doing like testimonials with past clients, and
nice.
It's been amazing because you don't know how much you changed somebody's life until they really talk about it.
Yeah.
And I have a couple people on there that I put out, and they just like, "Yo, you really changed me as a person. I never thought I can obtain home ownership, and I never knew there's more out there for me." So like, I just don't say, "Okay, you buying a house." I'm like, "Yeah, now you're on your way to success. Now you're on your way to wealth. So continue it.
Right.
Understand you want to take that income. I tell them this too. I said, take your income tax money next year, put it away. That's for your mortgage.
Right.
And you think about what you do with the excess money, because a lot of we have enough, but we just do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I get them on the mindset. But yeah, testimonials is definitely doing great. And then I'm doing a little bit more talking myself about the mortgage, because it wasn't like I wasn't comfortable, but I just feel like everyone's doing the same thing about mortgages. And they tell me about the programs, but me, I want to tell you about how much I care about you as a person, how much I'm gonna hold your hand, the stuff that's very important that we skip over. Like I had a lady yesterday, funny, the realtor Nadine, she's great, she's wonderful. It was a lady's birthday, and we ran out a Sprinter for the closing.
Nice.
We had a whole bunch of balloons, baskets, cake, everything.
Nice.
Then after that, we stayed for the closing. Then we left and we took out to eat.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, it was an experience.
Okay.
And she and her husband, Bruce, Kimmy and Bruce, that's the name. The husband was very, very grateful. And I enjoyed that. And sometimes like we do transactions as a loan officer, you don't care, but I finally slowed down and really like wow, it made me feel like I was buying a house again.
Yeah.
Nah, what were we gonna say? Go ahead.
No, it's interesting you say that, because although you're taking them out to dinner, you got the Sprinter, love it, but it goes further than that, because now that couple is going to introduce you to all of their friends who wants to buy homes.
And they never forget the moment.
They never forget the moment. So it's like, yo, I know a great loan officer. I know a great guy. You need this person in your life.
Yeah, I think it's more about the experience, man. You got to, because in that moment, they're gonna say, "What do you remember? When you bought your house?" Oh, I remember my loan officer. I remember my realtor.
Absolutely.
And a lot of loan officers, they don't go to closing. You won't see a loan officer at closing.
So I got a testimonial.
Well, it's about time.
The day of our closing, we're going through the papers. I just remember signing papers.
Yeah.
And then this dude come up. And he's just, peeking his head through the room, and he's just smiling. And I'm like, why is this dude smiling? Like, because we never met, right?
We never even talked on the phone.
We never talked on the phone.
Yeah.
No way.
Nah. So I was like, yo, who is this dude?
That's crazy.
And I just see you in there. You're like, yeah, he's looking at him like, okay, yeah, they're getting it done. Everything seems pretty smooth.
Okay, cool.
And then after the signing, like, you was like, congratulations. You introduced yourself, and you had a nice bottle of Go. Like, it was the way you did it was great presentation, customer service.
Yeah. So, it's a little bit more of that story. What happened was
definitely.
I had 2 closings at the same time.
Yes.
But y'all were sharing the same bank attorney.
Yes.
So you guys started, I think, after us, the first closing.
Yes.
And you guys were finished. So the closing that started before them, which was mine, they were jealous, said, You're focusing too much on them. So now I'm like, all right, let me go soften the blow. Let me finesse the room. And
that's funny.
Yeah, it was an interesting process. And then when I seen him, I'm like, yo, I think I know this guy. And I'm like, hold on, man, that's somebody. Was you engaged and then? Were you engaged then?
Not yet.
Okay, that's a girl, man. Like, let me introduce myself, man. I've been talking to her every day. I don't want this guy to come after me. So when I met him, I was like, yo, he's a nice guy. And I said, yo, man, you're doing a great thing, man. And you could just tell he was a genuine person when I first met him at the closing. And that's what I remember most. So later on that day, when I took the picture of him, I posted on Instagram, a couple people shouted me, oh, I know him. I was like, wow, this is crazy, small world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it's moments like that you never forget.
Man.
You never forget.
That's what's up, man.
Woo. Any desires to get into real estate yourself? Like, buying real estate.
I might want to buy and flip, definitely. And if I do become a landlord, I want to be a nice landlord, man. These guys be terrible. It'd be bad. But I think I'm a fair person. I'm very reasonable, very, very generous. So, I definitely want to buy more houses. I bought my house actually 3 months ago. I bought my house.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, so I'm happy about that. But I'm definitely going to buy more.
And you gave yourself a commission on that, I'm assuming.
Nah, I didn't take the commission, man. I went the long route, man. I got a good rate, I worked it out. And I was like, all right. Cool. My brother, though, he was the realtor. He got the commission check.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he got the
your
commission.
brother's a realtor.
Yeah, my brother's a realtor. Yeah, he got the commission check for that one, man. That was a tough one for me to swallow. I didn't get none of that.
I think it's time to go to the Sak Pase job.
Yeah, so...
We need a background music with this one.
Yeah,
we're trying to,
So who
perfect
y'all gonna pick it out from?
Yeah, you choose.
You want me to choose it?
Yeah, you choose.
Yeah, bro.
And I gotta read it?
Yeah.
All right. Let me see this.
We gotta get some more.
Yeah, we gotta get some more questions in there.
What, is all the same questions or something?
Nah, we wouldn't do that to you.
No.
All right, let's see what this says. Hold on.
I got you.
Let's see what this says. It says, what's the craziest rumor you heard about yourself? Oh, that's a good one. The crazy, as a loan officer or as a person?
Either or.
Yeah.
The craziest rumor I heard about myself. Somebody one time, as a loan officer, I'm a loan officer. I never forget. They called in and said, I was a celebrity. And I said, what? Yeah, some lady said I look like Loaded Lux, the rapper. That threw me off. That was one of the things that I heard. I was just cracking up. I was cracking up. Come on.
I'm just kidding.
I ain't kidding about that was why she told me I look like Loaded Lux. I thought that was hilarious.
Okay.
But as far as rumors, man, I don't know. I mean, people say you look like you don't answer your phone. That's a bad rumor because I answer my phone all the time.
You look like you don't.
Yeah, they tell me you look like you ain't gonna answer my phone.
That's crazy.
I'll answer your phone call. Yeah, I try to get back to people. I mean, the downside of being good with customer service and answering everyone is when you don't answer your phone and people know you answer your phone,
right?
They keep calling. Like if something happened to you.
Yeah.
Right.
So if I got a realtor, right? If I don't call them back in an hour, it's the end of the world. I'm like, you realize, right? There's other people.
Right.
Wow.
I have a life. I want to eat dinner.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that sometimes.
They don't see it.
Nah, of course not. What? Everyone. The delusion is that the loan officer I work with is only working on my file.
Right.
That's the illusion.
Right.
I get it. It's a big purchase, so I understand.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, right? Obviously probably a mortgage broker or a branch manager somewhere. And possibly not retiring, but stepping away from actually loan origination. Do a little bit of managing, but also kind of be some type of motivational speaker.
I can see that.
Yeah,
like a mentor.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I want to do because
okay.
I think we need that. We need that bad. You need it bad. And then in high school, I wasn't, no honor roll student. I was in the dean's office, but not for the honor roll though. So you see kids like that and you can relate to them.
Right.
And I had sports. Sports kind of really kept me on my path.
Nice.
Gotcha.
Because sports I think is definitely important. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I definitely want to do that. Give back to the community and speak to kids or even speak to adults, just about life. Because what I was learning last year, I'll say is like one of my really successful years. I did very, very well as far as financially, but I learned I wasn't happy. And it wasn't because like, you know, I didn't have enough things to obtain, but I realized I didn't do things that made me happy anymore because I was so concerned about work. And I was performing for affirmation, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Without getting too involved in my life, my father died when I was 10. I'm a junior. So not having your father growing up and you always got to perform. Yeah, people think you're cool.
Right.
But I realized I was performing and it wasn't giving me the fulfillment I need.
So have you found out in this year or within that course what makes you happy?
Yes, absolutely. Like, yeah. So, I mean, one thing I like to do now, I'm back in playing basketball. That was something I missed.
Nice.
I'm also, I connect with God a lot though. Like, that's something I do because I have to write. And I learned, like, sometimes I get up at one now, I say my prayers, I listen to gospel music. And that helps me start my day. And I realized that I'm more than just, you know, a loan officer. I had to get back to, like, you know, first I'm a person. I'm obviously God's child. So, you know, connecting with him and just having that personal relationship really kind of centered me. And it brought me back to, like, you know, what's important. So that's something I could tell people, like, you know, money's not everything. And, you know, you got to deal with your emotions also as a man, because we don't express how we feel. It just, it's not like our culture. Yeah. So when you can identify that and you can still feel a man about it, it's deep. There was a book actually I read called Battle Cry. I don't know if you guys heard it.
I haven't heard it.
Yeah, I forgot that guy's name. Jason something. I forgot his name. He wrote it. It's a great book. I read it, and he was talking about being masculine, but you still deal with your emotions as a man. It's really, really good.
Gotta check that out for sure.
Definitely read that. You know, it changed. It gave me insight to, like, all right, I'm not going crazy, because it's bad when, you know, you go home, people are like, yeah, you got everything, but you don't feel that way.
You don't feel that way,
and you just like, all right, whatever. I'm just gonna make more money. And you just get lost. You lose yourself. You can be disconnected from the world. Like birthday, last year birthday, I was really upset. It's like I had everything. I had a little party. My friends came out, but I was like, it got to be more to life than this. You know, and that's when you really got to reconnect yourself. That's why I say, when you growing, grow slow. Don't grow from A to Z, because you want to learn certain things, and you want to know when to put your phone down. It's like, I'm not going to work today. You know, I'm going to watch TV with my mom or my sister. I'm going to go. And take my little brother for a walk. Stuff like that really matters.
Right, absolutely.
Because now you're no longer trading time for money. You're just really appreciating time for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's great, man. I think you found your purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you said, it's more than just a loan officer.
Yeah.
Actually, that'd be cool. So I'm more than just a loan officer.
Yeah, I might put that on my Instagram hashtag, man.
Can we get percentage off of that on the podcast?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We can do something. We can do something. Give you a repost, you know what I'm saying? Shout you out.
Yeah, no doubt. Good looking. But seriously. But I think you found your purpose of like you said, customer service, but you're servicing your service.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I believe true leadership is you serving. No matter how good you are, you're still serving.
Absolutely.
It's funny. I had my baby shower the other day, and it was like, yo, why are you taking out the garbage? Why are you doing this? So I still got to serve, man. I'm not too good to serve. And they couldn't understand it, but I'm like, yo, listen, no matter how much money I make, no matter what I do, I want to be able to serve. I told people my goal all the time. They laugh at me like I'm crazy. I said, yo, I want to be able to eventually one day, you know, I get up there, I make $1 billion. And then I say, that doesn't mean anything. I'm still a person. Right. Just like you. Because money changes people. Yeah. And we don't have to have that narrative if we're inviting people to come up where we are. Right. A lot of times we get up there and we shut the door. I don't want to do that. So I just want to continue to serve. And that's why I tell, you know, all my assistants, people that work with me, I'm like, listen, if you can't give them A1 customer service, then you shouldn't be working with me, because I demand that. You know, if I can't give you that, then I'm doing you a disservice. Right. So that's why I want you to feel comfortable. I want you to know I care. I care if your loan does. I won't sleep at night if your loan doesn't close.
Okay, cool.
So that's why.
Wow.
Amen to that, bro.
That was great.
That was great. This was great.
You guys are good, man. Y'all ask a lot of questions.
Oh, thank you, bro. Thank you.
Thank you.
So now, moving forward, can the people get like a discount if they mention Team Sak Pase podcast?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's like, yeah. All right.
That's gonna mess up his goals, bro.
Look, I'm gonna throw this in for y'all. I'm gonna give you a nice bottle of nice champagne. What you got over there, right there? What you got?
This a little vodka, a little vodka, tequila.
Tequila.
Nah. I'll give you some. Probably my people want some Casamigos now, so everybody drink.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying, Casamigo. You look like you a Henny guy.
I am a Henny guy.
Privileged though.
I am a privileged guy.
I get you a Henny privilege, and what you got?
Casamigos. Yeah, I do not.
How
I can't do Henny, bro.
What you
Henny is
you drink
bad.
Casamigos?
This guy.
Henny's
Listen, man.
bad for me, bro.
Casamigo came a couple years ago, man. So how you drinking that?
I was
What you drinking before that?
Ciroc.
Ciroc.
Yeah.
Pineapple?
Nah.
Regular Ciroc?
Yeah, regular Ciroc, bro.
You different, man.
Yeah, I'm different.
He's different. Wow.
It's bad,
You built
it's bad.
different.
So then Henny, yeah, it was bad, bro.
I mean, I don't drink Henny anyway. I know. I can tell he drink Henny. Believe it or not, I'm a Johnny Walker guy, man.
Johnny,
Okay.
oh, J-Dub. Oh,
Yeah,
J-Dub
yeah.
is smooth. It's smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's smooth.
I went one time with this girl, and she know I like Johnny Walker, so we have to eat, and she ordered 4 shots of blue.
Jeez.
Ooh.
That bill came, it was $250. I said, yo, don't ever do that again. Blue
4
Walker,
shots
yeah,
of
4 shots.
J-Dub.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
I drink, I drink that sometimes, but most time I'm
Mhm.
drinking Johnny Walker Black. That's what I like.
Yeah, the black is nice.
Yeah,
It's
Black is
smooth.
cool. Yeah, smooth.
Smooth.
Yeah, there are a couple of nice ones out there, man.
Thanks again, my brother.
No, appreciate me
great
having me, man.
information.
This is definitely dope, man. I like this, yo. I
No
like
Yeah,
doubt,
yeah,
no
thank
doubt.
you,
We're
man.
gonna do a lot more too.
Yeah, we
Oh,
definitely
We're
got
gonna
to
work. We're gonna work.
Let
definitely-
me know, man.
Yeah.
I definitely want to come out, man. I definitely want to come out. This is gonna be dope, though. I like this.
Thank
This
you,
is
man.
For
And
sure,
talk
for sure.
about one day you get your podcast and
There
all
might be
those
a
people that you
podcast?
met,
A podcast.
You never know.
bro.
Nah,
It's
man.
simple.
This is all you guys.
In a couple of years, you're gonna come back and be like, "Yo, Rob was right."
I got Rob, man. I got a guest for you, man.
Nah, that's cool too.
Yeah,
Tell
y'all
the
guys,
people
though.
where get your info on social media.
Yeah, you can follow me at Cool Rod, COOLROD. Yeah, my name is Rod. You follow me. Look at my testimonials before you DM me, though, because I want you to understand. I
Nice.
really give you that service. I really do give you that service.
Nah, you
Yeah,
really
and
does.
I'm a fun person, man. You're gonna have a good time.
That's what's up, man.
That's a fact. Thanks for doing this, Rob. Appreciate you.
Yeah, we really do appreciate
Great
it.
stuff, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks a lot. I'm grateful for being on here.
No doubt. No doubt.
And again, remember this is the Team Sak Pase podcast show, and on our handles are Team Sak Pase,
Yep.
Team Sak Pase on YouTube,
Yep. Team Sak
Yeah.
Pase on IG.
on IG.
Don't forget to check out our website,
Don't forget Don't
teamsakpase.com.
forget the TikToks.
Don't forget the
and,
TikTok, Team Sak Pase.
Yeah, all of that. And we are. Don't forget subscribe. Thank you, Joe. That's
Joe went like this.
Jay
Joe
was
went like this.
I was like,
Don't forget.
all the info is going to be in the description below the video.
No
There you
doubt.
go.
No doubt.
All the info is going to be in the description below in the video. So below, down here, you see right here, it says subscribe. Subscribe. Please subscribe.
No doubt.
Subscribe and share to your friends and family. This is great info. Thank you, Rod. We appreciate
Queens in the
you.
building.
Queens.
Absolutely.
I'm from Rosedale, from South
Southside.
Jamaica,
Yeah,
South
South
Side.
Jamaica.
We got
I'm from Long Island. Team Sak Pase, we out.